Welcome to Projection Reflection. I'm your host, Coordinato, and today we're reviewing the Lego Movie 2, the second part. This movie was directed by Mike Mitchell, was released last week on February 8th, starring Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, and Tiffany Haddish. Let me just get into it right now. The animation was great, as usual. I loved the animation in the first film. I think it was maybe even better in this one. I absolutely loved the animation in both of these films, in the first and this one. I loved seeing, of course, Emmett, Lucy, Unikitty, Batman, Metalbeard, all those characters. I loved seeing them again. The voice cast, of course, did excellent in this film, I feel. I really liked the addition of newer characters. I really liked the Tiffany Haddish character, Queen, whatever, Watanabe. I think that's what her name is. I loved the two songs that she did in the film. She did two song dance number songs. My favorite one probably was the one with Batman added to it. That one was really funny, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I really enjoyed her character. I liked the villain for this story. I liked Lord Business, but I think this character, it really hit home for certain people, especially me. This, by the way, this story, if you have a sibling, like a younger brother, younger sister, this is gonna hit home for you. This story in this film. I'm just telling you right now, because it got me in the feels. It really did. But yeah, I thought the villain in this film was very interesting. I'm not going to tell you about the villain because it will give it away about the story, but I enjoyed the villain in this film. I loved all the pop culture references in the movie, lots for kids and adults. There was a reference to freaking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure in this, which I freaking loved that. I love that movie. So anything that talks about Bill and Ted is interesting to me. But yeah, a lot of great pop culture references. Reflections of the world, the real world, because there's an instance in the movie where they see that everything is not awesome, and that's the way the world is, and not everything's great. You have a lot of crappy things that happen in life. And this movie kind of shows that. It shows that, of course, the kids that watched the first film are now a little older now. Kind of like my brother. He was a good bit younger when the first movie came out. Now it's been 5 years, and he's a lot older. And this story would probably speak to him because, he's a lot older. He's growing up. And that's mainly kind of what the story is about. It's about growing up. And it's being careful of what you grow up in, what you become. Being careful about who you're growing up into. You don't want to grow into a freaking jerk or a douchebag. You want to be a good person. You don't want to be a bad person. But yeah, it definitely shows that in this story, you want to grow into... It's like growing into the person you're going to be for the rest of your life, basically. I don't know if I'm digging too deep into the meaning of this film, but that's what I think the meaning of this film is. It's definitely growing up and seeing what person you're going to be. But yeah, this film really hit me with the emotional feels, especially with me having a younger sibling and growing up with that younger sibling. Let's get into the dislikes. No real surprises in this movie. There were no, at least in the first film, there was a big surprise, big reveal, it's actually set in the real world. It's just a kid playing with the toys, and that's the whole story. But they've shown that in all the other previous Lego movies, and it's yeah, we basically know what's going to happen. We know what's going on. like, what else can you surprise us with? I felt that there wasn't enough surprises in this film. Like, nothing made me go, oh my gosh, like, no, nothing. As you could really tell, this was more of a kid's film than the first one. Especially with, of course, the singing song numbers, with the Tiffany Haddish character. Even though I did like the second song that she sang, but the way the jokes were, like, just everything about this film screamed kid movie. And of course, that's what it is. It's a kid's film, but the first film felt more family oriented. Like, it felt more like, adults and kids could enjoy it. This film felt like more just kids could enjoy it. I mean, I liked it a little bit, but I wasn't as sold as I was when I watched the first movie. I wish we saw the Marvel and Star Wars characters. Like, you think that with Lego that would just be free range. You think that they could just use what characters they've used in their toy lines. You think, oh yeah, they can totally use the Marvel characters, Star Wars characters. They make the toys. They make the Star Wars and Marvel Lego toys. Like, why wouldn't they be in there? And it is very surprising that they're not, because, Disney, they have to be jerks and be like, oh, nope, you can't have these Star Wars characters, because they got the Star Wars characters in there, I think, right before Disney bought the rights for Star Wars. So, like, right before they bought the rights, they were able to get, like, they were able to get the Star Wars characters in there really quick in the first movie. But then this time they were like, nope, you're not getting them this time. But I was like, come on, Disney. Are you really that petty that you're not supposed to let those characters be in there? Like, I understand if, like, MCU and, like, the DC Universe movies cannot, like, coincide. They can't coexist. Like, one can't go into the other's universe. But, I mean, come on. You think Lego, like, those characters would just, like, be able to mesh together perfectly. Like, I'd love to see, like, Spider-Man and Superman hanging out. Or see like Batman and Iron Man together. Like, that would be a pretty cool thing to see, especially with, like, the Lego premise. Like, that would be really cool. But no, like, they didn't give us that, and I wish I wish we could have got that in this film. I mean, if Disney had, it's not the film's fault, and it's not the director's fault. It's Disney's fault mainly because they won't let them use the characters. But You'd think we'd be able to get that, but we didn't, and that's the really disappointing part. The story in this film was pretty predictable. I knew kind of what was going to happen. One of the things did surprise me a little bit. I know I didn't say no surprises, but it was just a tiny surprise. But, it wasn't even that much of a surprise, because you're like, I can understand that connection. Like, when I was watching the film, like, yeah, I can see how this would be that and everything. And I didn't think, the villain reveal thing wasn't that big of a surprise. Like, that was the thing. Like, it's like, oh, I kind of saw that coming. Like, okay, like, that's kind of cool. That character was a good villain, but it really didn't surprise me all that much. All in all, I think this movie was good, but not as good as the first film. It was good, but not that good. I think kids will love it, but the first film was definitely appealed more to a broader audience. It was definitely more towards adults and kids, while this film was set mainly just for kids. Like I said, it's good, but not as good as I wanted it to be. So, I'm going to give this film a 3.5 out of 5. So, tell me what you guys think about my review in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. So, see you later. Everything is awesome.